Welcome to my first video of 2022. Let's take a look at Mitchel from Australia and Nathan Oakley as they continue to wallow in complete ignorance as to how geometry, sextants, and logic work, and use it to scam WheresWally out of the money he's owed.
G'day everybody, WheresWally here. So I measured the R as 6218 kilometres or 3684 miles. Now that's just 2.5% from the accepted value.
And we are off to a great start. Mitch, it's called a margin of error.
I know that this wouldn't last 5 seconds on the debate because it starts with the assumption of the very thing it's trying to prove. That big round blue sphere that they showed with the triangle going to it, it didn't matter that it had the R value pasted on it. It doesn't change the fact that that big blue sphere in his picture is his assumption that this measurement's taking place on that big blue sphere he thinks he's standing on. In other words, the very thing he's trying to prove is assuming in the first instance, aka a begging the question fallacy.
It's not begging the question, Nathan. In his video, Wally explicitly says and shows that he concluded Earth is curved by demonstrating that the zeniths of the two observation locations are diverging, even though on a flat Earth the zeniths should be parallel. He did not assume that the Earth is round beforehand. Wally proved that the Earth is round with the initial observation and data, then used math with that data to calculate the Earth's radius.
I don't get to do that on the debate, let alone spend bloody ages going through it thinking you're going to get Bitcoin at the end of it, when you're even disclaiming to your own audience and your opponent, in this case Mitch. Are you begging the question?
I know, Mitchell, what you're going to say about this. You're presuming R. Well, fair cop, I am kind of presuming R in this.
You know you are!
Actually, we know that he didn't presume R. Conversely, we know that you underhandedly cut his statement out of context. Let's analyze this screenshot and compare it to the experiment Wally submitted to you. The experiment Wally submitted was done between Dubbo and Sydney, while the one you doctored was between Perth and the equator. I know we Americans aren't known for being good at geography, but I'm pretty sure those are completely different locations. The math here is also different. This one uses 0 right angles, while the one Wally submitted uses 2. Finally, the conclusion is different. The conclusion of this one is that the height of the satellite, H, is 37,000 kilometers, while this one's conclusion is that the radius of the Earth, R, is 6,200 kilometers. These are two completely different experiments. What a joke! You cut a quote out of context, which is the quote mining fallacy, used it to dismiss the conclusion of a completely irrelevant experiment, which is the red herring fallacy, in order to falsely claim that Wally was committing the circular reasoning fallacy. That means that by your logic, committing fallacies is a bad thing when Wally does it, but not when you do it. That is the special pleading fallacy. So, in order to slander Wally for allegedly using one fallacy, you used 3. How hypocritical can you get?
In order to acquire an angle, you need a flat baseline. You use the sextant to get an angle to anything ever, you're going to have to assume it's flat. Well, what is that referred to in this geometry? Well, it's the elevation angle. Elevation from a straight, flat baseline. Something that is never to be acquired on a sphere Earth. Ever.
Yes, you can get a straight baseline on a globe because the baseline is the direction from the sextant to the horizon, which will always be straight regardless of the shape of the ground beneath it. The curved adjacent claim is utter nonsense.
So you said, first and foremost, you measured from a baseline, correct?
Absolutely.
And that was flat.
It was the baseline. Of course it's flat.
So it wasn't measuring
It's on
from
the Earth.
So it wasn't measuring from a curved adjacent then?
As I've just explained, that's nonsense. Wally understands this as well, and has explained this to you repeatedly for over a month. The photo you showed on your screen directly explains this. The baseline is not the Earth itself, it's the line of sight to the horizon. The rest of this debate is hilarious in my opinion. There isn't really anything left to go over though, so I won't be playing it. If you can stand Jokley's rage, it's worth the watch. If you can't, that's fine by me. If you're Jokley, your friend owes Wally some Bitcoin. Over and out.